Good morning, students.
Good morning,
Morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We have completed life processes. It was a lengthy chapter and you learned about different life processes. Which are the different life processes that we learned in the chapter, Lolita? The four major life processes. Yes.
Sir?
What are the different life processes that we learned in the first chapter?
The
Main headings, dear. Meghna? Meghna?
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Nutrition,
Nutrition.
transportation, nutrition.
Nutrition, respiration, excretion, transportation. Where are you, Lolita? Just repeat it.
Nutrition, respiration, transportation.
Why you forgot? Nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. So those are the four major life processes that we learned. And now we are going to learn about another important process that is a characteristic of living things, but it is not necessary for survival. For that individual to sustain its life, this process is not necessary. But this process is very important to maintain the continuity of the race. Can you tell me about which process I'm speaking about? It is not necessary for sustaining life or for survival, but very important to maintain the continuity of the species. Anybody?
Production.
Reproduction, exactly. It is about reproduction that I was mentioning. Reproduction is the process by which living things, they produce or they give rise to their young ones. There are different methods of reproduction and it is very essential to maintain the continuity of the race. If organisms of a particular species, if they cannot reproduce, with those organisms, they will come to an end or they will become extinct from the earth's surface. So reproduction, even though it is not necessary to survive, to maintain the continuity or for the survival of the species as a whole, this process is very important. And reproduction is of two types. Mainly you can categorize reproduction into two types. Which are those two types? Which are the two types? Children, you had learned all these in class 7, class 8. Which are the two main types of reproduction? Prajod.
Asexual and asexual.
Then why don't you speak? You want the names to be called out? Sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Children, all those whose videos are off, forget about getting attendance. Asexual and sexual reproduction. Who will tell me the difference, main difference between these two? Adi, what is the main difference between asexual and sexual reproduction? Yes, Adil. You people are in class 10 now. You should know. I think I have taught you in class 8. Main, basic difference. Who can tell me?
I don't know, ma'am.
One parent is in
Yes, who is saying the answer? Adil. Savio. Yes, Savio. Tell me.
asexual reproduction. Only one parent is involved.
Asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved, and sexual, two of them are involved. Or else you can say in asexual reproduction, no fusion of gametes. In sexual reproduction, gametes are getting fused. A fusion of gametes will take place, resulting in the formation of a zygote, which will gradually develop into a new organism. Adil, what is the main difference between sexual and asexual reproduction?
Fusion of gametes.
In which one?
In reproduction.
In
Sexual reproduction.
Reproduction. And in asexual,
No, fusion.
how many parents are involved in sexual reproduction?
2.
Two. Both the parents are involved. So let's learn more about reproduction. How do organisms reproduce? That is the title of the chapter. Reproduction is a process by which living things give rise to their young ones. It's a process by which living things give birth. It can be giving birth, laying egg, or whatever be the method, the process by which living things give rise to their young ones. That is known as reproduction. Reproducing organisms, they will create new individuals that look very much like themselves. So those organisms which are produced, they'll be similar to their parents, or each organism will produce offsprings with similar features, similar characteristics, need not be identical. The offspring's form need not be identical, but they'll be having similar features, or they look similar to their parents. And a human being can give birth only to a human being. So same is the case with all the organism. A cat will produce kitten. Dog will produce puppy. So they will produce organisms or young ones which are similar or which resembles the parents, or look very similar to the parents. Clear, children? We say like begets like. Each organism will produce young ones who will be resembling their parents. The process by which living things give rise to their young ones is known as reproduction. Reproducing organisms create new individuals that look very much like themselves. It doesn't mean they'll be exactly identical, but they will be similar. Do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Are they producing exact copies? When they reproduce, are they making ditto, exactly same copies of themselves? Organisms look similar. All human beings, even though we are not identical, we have some similar features, similar characteristics. Organisms are looking similar because their body designs are similar. Aren't we having a similar body design, children? All human beings have a similar body design. So organisms look similar because their body designs are similar. Cats are having a different body design when compared to dogs, and both of them are having different body design from that of birds. And the body design of these three animals, so these three organisms are different from what we find in human beings. So each organism, they are having some specific body design. And the body designs will be similar, only the blueprints for these designs are similar. The plan or the, whatever is being prepared, we like, even while preparing a question paper, we make a blueprint of it. So the plan also has to be similar. Only then the blueprints, only if the blueprints are similar, the organisms formed as a result of these blueprints will look similar. Once again, it is because of similar body designs that organisms, they share similarities or they look similar. And for the body designs to be similar, the blueprints for these body designs also should be similar. Once the blueprints are similar, body designs will be similar, and the organisms will be having similar features. In reproduction, blueprints of the body design or copies are being made of the blueprints of body design. So in reproduction, when an organism reproduces, they are that reproducing organisms, they are giving birth, or they are giving rise to, not always giving birth, they give rise to new organisms having similar body design. It is because that they had a similar blueprint. So So when the blueprints are similar or when they share some similarities, accordingly, the organisms formed also will have similar features. What is genetic modification? Is it possible? Will it make human beings perfect biologically? Genetic modifications or genetic engineering is being carried out successfully, and there are several applications of genetically modifying organism. You might have heard about GMO, genetically modified organism. Both crops like plants also we can modify, animals also we are able to modify, and these modified organisms, these modifications are done so that they can be made useful to human beings. Like when we genetically modify the crops, we can make them more productive, better resistant to pests, etc. So all that we can carry out, but human beings, it's so far those genetic engineering has not been done. Like cloning and all, you might have learned, you might have heard at least. But all those we have not tried out in the case of human beings, but other organisms, several organisms we have tried cloning, genetically engineering to suit our needs, but we cannot genetically modify human beings and make them perfect. So that is so many ethical issues are there, and so far we have not done all those experiments with human beings. Maybe we don't know in the near future what is going to happen, but as of now such experiments are not permitted to be carried out with human beings. Chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell contain information for the inheritance of characters from parents to the next generation in the form of DNA. This you had learned in lower classes, class 8. You know, we are made up of cells. We are multicellular organism, whether single cell or multicellular. Within each cell, there will be a nucleus. And within the nucleus, we have genetic material. We call it as chromosome. And these chromosomes contain, or chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins, and these chromosomes contain information for the inheritance of characters from one generation to the next generation. And now you might be thinking, what are genes? Can anybody tell me how are genes and chromosomes related? DNA and chromosomes, I told. Chromosomes, they form the genetic material in living organisms. They are made up of DNA and proteins. But how are they related to genes?
And
Chromosomes contain genes.
organism offerings.
Once again?
One of,
Theory of chromosomes from parents to offsprings.
now my question is, genes and chromosome, what is the connection between these two? Genes and chromosomes.
They are essential for life.
No, not that. In terms of structure, in terms of, I'm not saying how in function, how are they related? Not about the functional relation, but structurally, how are they related? About their location, I'm asking. Where are the genes present?
New cell.
From nucleus, you went to.
DNA.
Wait, I'll tell you. See, this is a cell, okay? And inside you can find nucleus. And inside the nucleus, you can find chromosomes, okay? And I told you chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins. What you see here is DNA. In the picture, you can see this is a double helically twisted ladder. It resembles a spirally twisted staircase or a ladder. Okay, double helical structure. We said DNA is having a double helical structure. It resembles a helically twisted staircase, and the chromosomes are actually made up of DNA and proteins. And functional segments of DNA, a portion of this DNA you call as gene. Several such genes are present or arranged on the DNA. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins. And a small portion or a segment of DNA, functional segment, a segment with a specific function or a functional segment of DNA is known as gene. Got it? So how are they related? We have millions or trillions of cells in our body. Each cell is having nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we have chromosomes. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins, and a functional segment of this DNA is known as genes. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll repeat again. Organisms, they resemble. Our organisms look similar. It is because their body designs are similar. We can easily make out. Just by seeing a cat, you can easily make out it's a cat. It's because of its specialities in its body design. We can easily distinguish a dog and a cat. It's because of their body design. We know how a cat looks like and a dog looks like. So you know the differences between them. You're familiar with their body designs. So they look similar because of the similarities in body design. And if the body design if the body designs have to be similar, the blueprint for these designs should be similar. And reproduction involves, or in reproduction, copies of these blueprints are being made. Chromosomes present in the nucleus of a cell, they contain information for the inheritance of characters from parents to the next generation in the form of DNA molecules. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins. So these information is stored within the chromosomes and they transfer it from, or these characters are transferred from one generation to the other with the help of these DNA molecules. We resemble our parents. We are not exactly identical. We are not exactly identical to your father or mother. At the same time, we have some features, or we can easily make out, like you might have heard your friends or relatives asking whether you are so-and-so person's son or daughter, because from the similarities, even we teachers, many times we can identify whether we have taught their siblings or not, because of the similarities in their features. That is because they are born to the same parents. And from these parents, via gametes or by means of these chromosomes, characters are being transmitted to the siblings. Not only siblings, all the offsprings. They will have some features of father, some features of mother, and at the same time, some new combination of characters also will be there, which is an important characteristic of sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means they will be identical to the parents. Only one parent is involved and they'll be identical to their parents. Whereas in sexual reproduction, two parents are involved. Some paternal, some maternal features will be there. At the same time, some new combination of characters also will be there in sexual reproduction. Okay, so chromosomes contain the information for the inheritance of characters from parents to the next generation, and this is stored in the form of DNA molecules, expansion of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. And DNA is the information source for making proteins. What is the role of this DNA present? You know, DNA is a nucleic acid, the main genetic material present in living organisms, and some of the organisms like viruses have RNA also, which you will learn in higher classes. So DNA is the information source for making proteins. In your body, several proteins are being synthesized, and the information for making these proteins is provided by DNA. I'll repeat the points again. Any confusion, you can ask me. We started with the definition for reproduction. Reproduction is the process by which living things give rise to their young ones. And I told you there are two main types of reproduction, sexual and asexual, which you will learn in detail in this chapter. In sexual reproduction, two parents are involved and there is fusion of gametes. In asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved and there is no fusion of gametes. And by means of reproduction, Organisms will produce individuals that look very much like themselves. A cat cannot give birth to a puppy. Similarly, a dog cannot give birth to a kitten. Like we have succeeded in mating two organisms belonging to entirely different species and forming new organism like mule, then liger, like that is cross breeding, that is different situation. But under natural conditions, they can produce, or each organisms will produce offsprings which are similar to themselves. Organisms look similar. Now the next point is why they are looking similar. Why all the cats have some similar features. All the dogs are having identical or similar features. The reason is because the body designs are similar. How their body designs are becoming similar? Because there is some blueprint for making these body design. So body designs are similar because their blueprints are identical or similar. And in reproduction, copies of these blueprints of body design are being made. That is why, as a result of reproduction, similar individuals are being born. Chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell contain the information for the inheritance of characters from one generation to the next generation, from the parents to the offspring, and this information is stored in the form of DNA molecules. And I told you the significance of DNA. DNA is a nucleic acid, is a genetic material in majority of the organisms, and the DNA contains information, or they will provide information for synthesizing proteins, or it is a source for synthesizing proteins. Clear? Are you getting? Are you following? You want any clarification? Whether your answer is yes or no, you can respond. Clear, no? Savio? Savio? Okay. Any doubts, I can repeat, okay, because this is only the introduction is a little bit confusing, but once the introduction part, even though lengthy introduction is given, I could have skipped it, but I think all these you should know. So all these details are mentioned in your textbook also. So if I explain, once you read the textbook, it will be easy for you. And only introduction is a bit confusing, or you have something new to learn. But once we start the methods of reproduction, it's a continuation of what you had learned in lower classes. If this information is changed, which information? I told you, information for making proteins is stored in DNA. DNA contains information for synthesizing proteins. And if the information is changed, what will happen? The proteins formed will be different. And this will result in altered body design. The body design will change. Then, if the body designs are changed, can the organisms look similar? Yes or no? No. Once again, DNA is the information source for synthesizing proteins. If something happens to this information, if there is a change in this information stored in DNA, then the proteins formed will be different, and the body designs also will change. So a basic event, a very important event in reproduction is creating a DNA copy using some chemical reactions. With the help of chemical reactions in reproduction, DNA copies are being made. DNA will replicate, or the DNA present will get copied. One DNA will form two DNAs. So a copies of the DNA is being formed, or copies of the DNA are being formed within the cell. So that is one of the important step in reproduction. So a major event in reproduction is creating a DNA copy. So in the figure you can see DNA, it is getting divided and forming two new copies. In the second figure, you can see a cell where a single DNA is present, and then that DNA is getting divided into two, and it is getting distributed to two new cells. Two cells, not only DNA, not only the genetic material, the cell as such is also getting divided. This creates two copies of DNA. So children, in the first figure you can see this is DNA and it is forming copy. Two copies are being formed. Now, just by making two copies of DNA, new cells will not be formed. Only the genetic material is divided. So in binary fission in amoeba, we had learned, no, once the nucleus divides, which is followed by the division of the cytoplasm or its body as a whole. So same thing happens here. So here you can see a cell and the DNA over here. First the DNA will replicate or they will form a copy. And having two DNAs in the same cell is not enough. We need to form new cells. So what happens? Followed by, so first the DNA will replicate and it will be followed by the division of the cell also into two. That is why here you can see two new cells. DNA copying is accompanied by the formation of an additional cellular apparatus also, because that is very important. Only then we can distribute this DNA into that additional cell being formed. And once this has happened, the DNA copies will separate and each cell will have its own DNA. Have you got the point? First, what will divide? DNA will divide or DNA will replicate. It will form a copy. So now we have, if we have started with one DNA, now we have got two DNAs, so two copies of DNA are there. And here the process will not stop. Now DNA followed by the division of DNA, we need an additional cellular apparatus because we have two DNA and we need two cellular apparatus. So an additional cellular apparatus or additional cell also will be formed and then this DNA will be equally distributed to these two new cells. Am I clear? Am I clear? Yes. The process of DNA copying. Now you might be thinking, is this copy or are the copies formed by DNA replication, or when DNA is getting replicated and forming copies, are they exactly same as that of the original one? The process of DNA copying can have some changes, some variations each time. Every time these DNA or the newly formed DNA will not be an exact copy of the parent DNA. There can be some minor changes. As a result, the DNA copies generated will be similar, not the point. It will be similar but not identical. You know the difference between similar and identical. Identical means exact copy. So they'll be similar, they'll be having similar features, but not identical. So every time when the DNA is making a copy of itself, the copies formed will have minor variations. It won't be exactly identical to the parental DNA. Hence, two new cells formed cannot be absolutely identical. So when this happens, the newly formed, if DNA is having slight variations, accordingly the newly formed cells also will be slightly different. They'll be similar, they'll share similar features, but they won't be exactly identical. But sometimes, very important to note, always these variations won't be minor. If subtle variations are there in the DNA, no problem. They can survive or they'll be able to remain or survive within the newly formed cellular apparatus. But sometimes these changes in DNA or when DNA is being copied, the changes can be very drastic. Then what will happen? Then the DNA cannot survive within the newly formed cellular apparatus and the cell will get destroyed. Okay? If the variations in DNA copies are not drastic, if these are minor variations, not very drastic variations, then the newly formed cells or the surviving cells will be similar but not identical. They'll be subtly differing from each other, means general difference. Minor differences will be there. But if drastic differences are there, what will happen? The DNA, newly formed DNA will not be able to survive in the newly formed cell. And so they will get destroyed. The cell will get destroyed. But at the same time, if these variations are minor, manageable, the DNA will be able to survive and the newly formed cells will be similar but not exactly identical. That won't be an issue. In sexual reproduction, it is quite normal. Minor variations will be there. And this tendency for variation, so actually these variations have got some advantages. So these variations taking place during reproduction is a basis for evolution. You have learned over the years, by evolution, new species are being formed, new changes are getting accumulated and new species are being formed. But if these variations are not taking place, there won't be any chance for evolution. Children, it is to be noted that evolution means it is not taking place within a day or a 2 or a year or another year. Okay, it will take several years. Over the years, these changes are getting accumulated and resulting in the formation of a new species. So these variations, these minor variations are very important from the point of view of evolution. Got it, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I wind up?
Like the sickle cell,
Yes?
that sickle blood cell. Sickle.
Sickle.
Sickle blood cell. That is variation.
Sickle cell anemia you're saying, or sickle shaped blood cells. About what you're asking?
Yes, that.
Actually, the blood cells, it is having a biconcave disc shape, okay, our red blood cells. But sickle cell anemia is a genetic abnormality where the blood cells will be taking the shape of a sickle. The blood cells will get deformed and it becomes sickle shape, and it is a genetic abnormality. That is not a favorable variation. It's actually a disease. There are several genetic diseases and this is one such disease. Okay. That cannot be, that is a genetic abnormality or a mutation or some genetic change. Several such diseases are there like Down syndrome, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, phenylketonuria. Several genetic abnormalities are there and that is a disease. Okay. Then, children, today also I think we have only 3 more minutes. So, all those who have to take the seminar, next class, next week, first period, you have to be prepared. Now, I will first give the chance for the students to take seminar, only then I'll proceed, because from some of your messages, I found that you are not well prepared, because you were still doubtful, because this was a seminar based on the first chapter. Now, we cannot delay it. No excuses, don't be absent. If you become absent next class, then I will have to mark 0. So next class will be the final chance for you to take Sainaba, Savio, Vishnu. Anybody I have left out? And now here afterwards, I'll be giving you the topic and the names. Because when I give you the chance to select, then you are a bit lazy. No? You take so much time. So I will decide. I will decide the topic and let you know. Next class I'll tell you, I'll decide and let you know who all have to take seminar on the next chapter, but let the periodic test be over. Once the periodic tests are over, you can take the seminar.
Ma'am, can you show the slide?
Yes. The last one now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And by the time all are taking down the points, can I ask you some questions? I'll repeat it once you have. Just take a screenshot of the same so that we can save time. Only now, not always. I like or I prefer you to take down the notes. But when there is some time constraint, you can take screenshots. Have you taken? Can I wind up? If needed, I will show you next class also, no issues. But today we are running short of time. Okay. Any doubts with this particular slide? We can repeat it next class. I just want to conclude the points. So children, I told you that, children, please do turn your videos on. How many times you will make me say? See children, I told you that one of the important step in reproduction is making copies of what? Aditya, one of the important step in reproduction is making copies of Aditya M. Nair.
Yes, ma'am.
Making copies of
Cell
which genetic material? Throughout the
DNA.
DNA, making copies of DNA. And I told you that in reproduction, DNA copies are being made. And when the DNA copies are made, are the DNAs formed exactly identical to the parental DNA, Adidev? Are they exactly identical?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No. So, can you explain, Nirubama, about the variations? Variations?
It will be similar but not be identical to the original.
They will not be identical, but they will be similar. And if there are drastic variations in these DNA copies, what will happen? If drastic variations are there, Aman, if there are drastic variations in the DNA copies, what will happen? The DNA copy formed will not be able to survive within the newly formed cell and they will get destroyed. And if these changes are minor, will they be able to survive, Ashik?
Yes, ma'am.
They will be able to survive or not? Yes. How are they useful, Ashik? How are these minor
They
changes?
are the most important path for evolution.
Evolution. So they will help in evolution. And Adidev has asked one doubt that is about Dolly. Dolly produced by means of cloning. Okay, and they will have exactly identical features because it is taken, single parent is involved over there. From one cell of the mother, this is being carried out. So they'll be having identical, they'll be having similar features because no other cell is getting involved. Here it is, even though we are making an animal, a sheep, but only mother cells are being used. Usually in sexual reproduction, two parents will be involved, but here only one cell, so they will have identical features. Any doubt with this, we will continue next class, not to worry, but those who have to take the seminar, they have to be prepared. So what you need to do, you need to learn is that three main points I will say. So whenever or an important step in reproduction, or whenever reproduction takes place, DNA copies are being made, and when DNA copies are being made, the newly formed copies won't be exactly identical to that of parental DNA. Each time when the DNA is being copied, there will be subtle variations, some minor variations will be there. And if these variations are drastic, then the DNA will not be able to survive within the newly formed cellular apparatus. They'll get destroyed. But if the variations are minor, only if minor variations are there, they'll be able to survive, and that is very important, leading to evolution. Over the years, these variations will accumulate and result in evolution. Okay? Clear? So we'll continue next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.